Welcome to the Exercise Physiology Lab. This is where science happens. And so one of our big projects is called the 10,000 Warriors Project, where we actually are testing people for physical health, mental health, and metabolic health as well. So you come in and you sign a consent so that we can test your body for science. And then after you allow us to test your body for science, then we have you fill out what we call a depression screen. So again, too, when we look at mental health, we actually want to see how you're feeling. That integrates with physical health as well. And then after you do that, you've been sitting for a while, we actually take a resting blood pressure. And again, too, metabolic health, we call high blood pressure the silent killer. So again, too, we take your blood pressure. And then when you're relaxed, then we actually prick your finger and do a blood glucose. And again, too, we're looking at your metabolic health, your cardiovascular health, and how well that you can actually metabolize glucose. So then after we prick your finger, do a blood glucose, then we're gonna see how strong you are. Then we do what we call a hand grip exercise. And we have you squeeze this button as hard as you can. And that tells us how actually strong your arm is. And that's a good surrogate of your whole body. And it does correlate with metabolic health. And so after then we do the hand grip, we do a test of power, where we have you jump as high as you can on our vertical jump. And then we make some calculations to see how powerful that you are, how well explosive that you can actually lift yourself up off the ground. Then we do those strength, and we're gonna do some body composition. So we take an actual height and weight. We just don't trust how when you tell us, we actually take the actual measurements. Then after that, we actually put you on our Dexa scan. And our Dexa scan takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's the state-of-the-art measurement for body composition, looking at how much fat, how much lean mass, and how strong your bones are. And it allows us to look at both sides of your body as well. So again, too, that's a measure of your physical health. It gives us belly fat or visceral fat, which is a marker of health as well. After that, our final test is what we call our cardiovascular fitness test, where I put you on a treadmill, I hook you up, and then I increase the speed every minute until you fall off. When you fall off, that's your maximum performance test. And again, too, we get to see how fit that you are using our test. Once we get all of these results, we actually then counsel how healthy are you and where do you want to be. And so if you have any goals, we can actually help you set those goals and then have you come back in 3 to 6 months to see how well that you've achieved them. So that's our main bread and butter, but the other things that we can do here in the lab, we actually do a lot of state-of-the-art measurement of heartbeat and heart rate variability. So right now, our swimmers, our baseball players, and our football players are actually wearing heart rate monitors. And again, too, we can see how hard they're working. It actually protects them when they're working in the heat, so they actually don't train too hard. So we can monitor them in real time and then have some calculations at the end. And then again, to what we have over here is we actually can measure core body temperature. So again, too, in the old days, we'd actually put a rectal probe up your rear end, and that was your core body temperature. But now you can actually swallow a pill. And the pill actually goes into your digestive system, and it measures the temperature of your body. And so again, too, in a lot of my thermoregulation and hydration studies, we have this capability. Then we do a lot of, particularly with our athletes, we do a lot of sweat sodium testing, where we actually this is the state of the art as well, is we actually stimulate sweat on your forearm. And then after we do this, we put a little disc on your, that stimulates sweat. Then we put this on your arm, and you will start to sweat in real time on that little area. And then after we collect your sweat, we actually put it in this machine, and then we can tell you how much salt that you're losing when you exercise. And then we can make calculations of how much sodium you need to replace when you exercise really hard. So that's another thing that we do here in the lab. And again, too, a lot of the meat and potatoes, I like blood, and that's where the good stuff is. So vitamin D, ferritin, breakdown of tissues. We actually draw your blood, we spin it, and then we use some of our machines in the back to measure electrolyte balance, muscle, kidney functions, triglycerides, and a variety of other metrics as well. And lastly, when we want to lose or gain weight, we can measure what we call resting metabolic rate. That's how many calories that you burn if that's all you did all day. And again, too, this is like the resting metabolic rate is, again, to 60 to 70% of all the calories that we burn is not through exercise, but it's through a resting metabolic rate. So when we actually do a measurement of your resting metabolic rate, we're actually can then devise nutrition plans for you to gain or lose weight depending on what you want to do. So that's here what we do in the exercise physiology lab, and I hope you come and want to get tested so we can make you healthier.